Have you ever told yourself, once I hit $20,000, everything will finally feel different? I'm going to have less stress, more freedom, and more confidence. I thought that too. But the weird part is, most people hit that number and feel almost exactly the same, myself included. I'm not broke, I don't feel like it either, but I'm also not free. And today, I want to talk to you about why this happens, what $20,000 actually changes, and the real turning point that nobody talks about. Because if you're chasing a number, hoping it'll fix your life, this video might save you a lot of time. So let's be honest, $20,000 does sound huge. You can argue, yeah, nowadays with inflation and the cost of everything going up, whatever. But for most people, it's more money than they've ever saved at once. It feels like proof that you're finally doing something right. You might imagine sleeping better, maybe having less stress, and feeling ahead of everybody else. A lot of people in the US, I forgot what the statistics were, I think maybe 40% or so, don't even have $1,000 to their name. And in some ways, $20,000 is actually an accomplishment. But here's the issue. Your brain doesn't measure freedom in numbers, but it measures in safety. 20,000 does feel fragile because you know that one bad decision, one emergency, and one unexpected expense could wipe a big chunk of it, if not all of it. So instead of feeling relaxed, you start feeling kind of protective. For me personally, I have over 20,000 in combined balances between my checkings and savings accounts. I'm very protective of it. It's in case of an emergency, especially nowadays with how the job market is, I don't want to touch that money at all. And this is where people get stuck. They assume that the number itself will change how they feel, but habits and mindset that got them there don't disappear. You still check your bank app daily, you hesitate before you buy something, and then you continue to compare yourself with others because 20,000 doesn't rewrite your identity. You spent years feeling behind financially. Your brain doesn't suddenly go, oh cool, I got money now, man, I'm rich. It says, okay, how do we keep this from disappearing? That's why so many people feel disappointed when they hit that milestone. Not because it's small, because 20,000 is not a small amount, but because they expected emotional transformation. In my opinion, money milestones are just overrated. And that's something that not a lot of people will tell you. They are great for motivation, but money milestones are terrible finish line because the second you hit one, your brain creates another. You might go from 10 grand to 20 to 50 to 100 grand, and then suddenly 20K feels normal to you. It's not special, it's not exciting, just your new baseline. This is when humans get used to improvements insanely fast. That's why people who make double their old salary often feel no happier than after a few months. The problem isn't the money, it's expecting the money to do the job of clarity, purpose, and confidence. I spoke on this on a previous video, but a few months ago I got offered a job that paid me approximately 20% more than what I'm making now. But it's not all about the money. I made a list of pros and cons. So pros, obviously I was going to get more money. The career advancement was there. It had a good future outlook from what they told me, right? Interviewers and hiring managers will tell you things that you probably just want to hear, right? But that was just what I got from going through the interview process. Cons is, I would have to go to downtown, which is 30 minutes without traffic from where I'm at today, versus right now, me working remotely most days. I have that flexibility. I have the flexibility on my break right now to make this video. I also have the flexibility of picking up my kids if something happens to them in school or they get sick. I'm able to drive 5-10 minutes from the house to go get them. I'll weigh all my pros and cons and my options, so I ultimately did not accept the offer and just stayed here with my current employer. So what actually changes after getting the $20,000? And this is where things get interesting. 20,000 does indeed do something special, just not what people think. It changes how you think about risk. Before that point, every mistake feels catastrophic. Every dollar feels precious to you. After that, you finally have breathing room. You can learn without panicking. You can make small mistakes and able to recover from those and think long term instead of on survival mode. That is the moment where money stops being purely emotional and you start becoming strategic. And that's the real shift. Not about the amount, but the ability to plan ahead instead of react. So when does the turning point occur? The turning point isn't $20,000. It's the moment you realize my future isn't dependent on one paycheck, 1 month, or one decision. That's when you stop chasing quick wins. You stop trying to get rich fast, betting on meme coins and stock market options and day trading, things like that. You start thinking in systems instead of outcomes. This is when people start investing in improving their skills, having more patience with money and the growth, and then developing compounding habits. Not because they're suddenly wealthy, but because they are no longer desperate to just save, save, save and hit that $20,000 goal. And desperation, it's what kills your progress. So what is the mistake that most people make after hitting the 20,000? Yep, you thought right. It is lifestyle inflation, or risking everything to multiply it fast. They think this money has changed my life now, but the money doesn't create stability. It's your behavior that does. The people who actually build wealth treat that money as a tool and it's not a trophy. Don't raise your lifestyle just because you have more money or if you get an increase in your salary. Because aside from debt, that's the wealth killer. And then people start asking, how does this support my future self? How do I protect it while I let it grow? How do I make sure I never go back to zero? That mindset matters more than any number because you start being more protective because money disappears faster than how long it took you to save it. So what should you focus on instead? If you're chasing $20,000 right now, can you save consistently? One tip that I would give you guys is to set up an automatic transfer. It doesn't matter if it's $20 every week, 50, 100 every couple weeks. Just set up some sort of automatic transfer that will just take money automatically into another account, preferably a high yield savings, and just ignore it. Let it do its thing. And if you make a mistake, can you recover from it? That's something that you should also be asking yourself. And then you also need to be patient when the growth feels slow. Like I said, even if you do $20 a week or every couple weeks, and having said that as an automatic transfer, it doesn't matter how slow the growth is. As long as you're making some sort of progress, that's what actually matters. And later on, let's say you get a raise in your salary, or you get a different job with higher pay, not increase your lifestyle, but instead increase the amount that is being transferred every week or every couple weeks to that savings account. That way it's just gonna, grow faster than it currently is. Because the people who master that end up passing 20,000 without even noticing it. And the people who don't master that and they go into debt or into lifestyle inflation, they will just keep hitting the same milestones over and over again. So yeah, don't get me wrong, having 20 grand is cool, but it's not the finish line. It's not your token or key to financial freedom. And it definitely is not the thing that changes everything. The real change happens when you stop asking, how much do I need? And then you start asking, who do I need to become for myself, for my family, and for my future? Yeah, guys, that's all I got for you today. If this video helped you or if you enjoyed, make sure you hit the like and you subscribe. And let me know in the comments, what number do you think will change your life and why? In my opinion, I think anywhere between 3 to 4 million is my goal. By the time I retire, I live pretty beneath my means. Over the years, I've developed great saving habits. I've made a lot of mistakes in my 20s financially that I have learned from. And yeah, that's just my number. Let me know what are your guys's in the comments below, and I will appreciate it. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.